World's Muslim population has hit a total of 1.7 billion people today, and that number is growing at 2 times the rate of the global population. Now, the global halal economy comprises businesses whose operations comply with the principles of Sharia. Now, in spite of the word halal being associated with the religion of Islam, a halal economy ultimately benefits the entire global community. So let's delve into just what this means. Now, the latest global economy report estimates that the halal food and lifestyle product sectors will comprise quite a large chunk of the global economy and could grow at a rate of nearly 11% a year until 2019. That, of course, is to a total of $3.7 trillion out of the entire global economy. Now, the opportunities here are vast. The Islamic finance market alone was estimated to be worth about $1.814 trillion in 2014 and could rise to, well, pretty much double that to $3.247 trillion by the year 2020. Just in case, just to see if we can get that board. Now, what does this mean? Well, this is essentially due to the fact that there is a lot of disposable income here, and the fact that the people, of course, who prefer to go halal, well, they are spending a lot of money in terms of food, fashion, and a lot of other areas. Now, this is expected to grow from 1.8 trillion in 2014 to about 2.6 trillion by the year 2020. And this is, of course, according to the Global Islamic Economy Report. Well, global spend on halal food, fashion, and travel, about $2.68 trillion. Well, from this slide, of course, you can see that the Islamic finance market alone in 2014 was worth about $1.814 trillion. And by the year 2020, is expected to reach, well, I don't think that figure is accurate. It's supposed to more than double to $3.247 trillion by the year 2020. This is, of course, because this segment is growing much faster than the conventional economy. To the next slide now, where the halal food, travel, and fashion industry, well, in the year 2014 at about 1.8 trillion, by the year 2020 expected to be about $2.6 trillion. Well, let's just break this down further, and with me in studio a wide array of guests here to break down exactly what this means for the global population, not just for them, but also for we as Kenyans here and across the rest of East Africa. Well, my panel here today, Jafar Sheikh Abdul Qadir, he's an Islamic banking expert. We have Amina Hirsi, who is representing the team that is putting together the Halal Expo. And Ali Ogle, he is a director at Mobitaz, one of the halal businesses here in Nairobi. And of course, Hidar Alam Adam, who is a halal entrepreneur. Welcome. Thank you. I think I'll start off to my extreme right. Start with you, Adam. What exactly is halal economy?
Halal economy, in essence, is anything that is not, everything that is acceptable, yes, in principle, ethically, fair, yes, and things which cannot harm others. Example is alcohol is not halal because it is harmful, yes, and it is something that can affect others. And that is, in essence, the halal side of it, the business, in definition. Yes.
And when you translate this, well, into the business aspect, what exactly are we talking about?
As for myself, yes, we are a tire company. We sell tires, we provide services and stuff like that. For us, it is the relationship between ourselves as the company with our customers. We provide them, we give them a trustworthy environment where they can be able to trust the products that we give them. The prices are supposed to be fair, yes, and the kind of interaction, yes, so that we do not cheat. We do not give substandard product and say that we're giving them products that is of high value, while we know, in essence, it's not what we're selling. To us, it is very important in terms of quality and quantity of what we're selling. That is the side of halal side of business that I try and implement in my business, yes, every day. To make sure that I go and sleep with a conscious mind that my customer is served correctly and I'm not harming them by cheating on them.
Indeed, you must have cut quite a niche for yourself. Jafar, I want to come to you. The fact that you are an expert on Islamic finance, what exactly does this mean?
Islamic finance actually forms part of the halal industry or a halal ecosystem. And it differs from that of conventional structure in many ways. And one of it is Islamic finance is structured along well-defined principles and guidelines that are derived from the teachings of the Prophet, the Holy Quran, and acceptable practices that are not in conflict with the two sources I mentioned, as the Quran and the teachings of the Prophet. Then two is it dwells on the fact that you do not undertake financing of any business venture that is not considered halal. For instance, you can't finance alcohol production, tobacco production, pornography businesses, or anything that is also maybe affects the collective well-being of the society, including destruction to the environment. Then number three, you are not also supposed to actually undertake any financing deals that are highly speculative. And it also upholds the sanctity of contracts where the parties getting into a financing transaction, that is the bank as a financier and the customer, have well thought out terms and conditions in the contract, and where you do not burden another party with unfair business practices or unethical business practices. So Islamic finance generally deals with that. And Islamic finance do serve the same purpose as conventional finance, but with ethical and moral guidelines. Thank you.
I want to come to you, Hidar, the fact that you are an entrepreneur, a halal entrepreneur. Please explain what this means. And looking at these numbers, the opportunities seem to be quite vast.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. So I think when you say halal entrepreneur, let me explain the term first. From my point of view, everything I do must have a purpose. And I chose to go into the fast food business. And I look at every day the way I deal with my employees, the way I deal with my customers, the kind of products I give them, all must have ethical value that conforms with what I believe in. And for me, that is my sort of definition of halal in terms of my whole business, not just the food. So it's basically from the time you walk into a snack attack outlet, which is the outlet that I'm franchising, you come in and you get an experience, and that whole experience should be halal. From the time you're served, by the waiter or waitress, until you leave the after service that you will get.
Let's come to you, Madam Hirsi. The fact that these entire galaxy of businesses, they have cut themselves a niche in our society and right across the world. But the fact that it is very little understood, what are the opportunities that are out there for businesses like this to come together and be able to tell people, well, we exist, and this is where you can find us, and that sort of thing?
Quite importantly, you actually touched upon the whole aspect of understanding. And I'd like to start by actually translating what the word halal means. And to actually try and demystify that. Halal can be loosely translated. It's an Arabic term, loosely translated to mean permissible, lawful within the Islamic Sharia context. And as you said, the halal economy, you just mentioned the Global Islamic report. This was actually commissioned by the Dubai government. And for a whole government to actually commission a very reputable company, Thomson Reuters, to actually undertake and produce this report shows how serious this is. And for a current economy that stands at about 3 trillion, and as you said, by 2019, we'll go up to 3.7 million. That's more than 10% annual growth. Now, and that's why we've come in as, the Halal Trade Expo. We are creating that platform, an opportunity, a 2-day event for opportunity for businesses to actually come and use that platform to actually meet with potential customers. Because, as you said, it's actually termed as an emerging market, but this is a trade that's been going on from the 14th century, and it's really about fair transactions, pure, creating a lifestyle that fits within the Muslim, and not only the Muslim, I think with the population at large. Anyone who is into fair, pure, any ethical kind of transaction, there's a great opportunity. And that's why we've come in now. It's overdue. This is the first trade expo ever in the region, East and Central Kenya. And given the numbers of the population of Muslims in Kenya, I mean, halal trade expos have been being done in Europe and Korea and a lot of places that are just, not, they don't have a dominant Muslim population. So it's high time, and we hope to create that platform.
Yes, I want to come back to you, Hilal, very quickly because we are almost out of time. I want to get your impression on what has the reception been to your kind of business? And indeed, the fact that you mentioned that this is food for everybody, not just Muslims. What has the reception been like?
So what's interesting for me is when we termed ourselves as halal, we thought it would strike a chord with the Muslims. But most of my customers are non-Muslims. And I think they feel very reassured when they come to a restaurant because they know we have certain standards and ethics.
Yes.
So the way I look at halal as a business owner, it's been a very profitable transition for us to move from a conventional business to a halal business. And I think it's food for thought for everyone because halal is not just for Muslims. Halal is actually a lifestyle if you believe in ethics. So for us at Snack Attack, I think it's fantastic.
Yes.
It's just been a fantastic journey.
Jafar, the fact that a lot of the people walking in through, so to say, Sharia-compliant banks here in Nairobi are indeed not just Muslims, but like he's saying, it's people who would normally enjoy the conventional aspect of things. Why is this the case, and what do you think? What sort of potential do you think this has for the future?
Indeed, there's ample opportunities in the space of Islamic finance, given the fact that there's growing interest globally, not only from the Muslims, but also non-Muslims in the space of Islamic finance, purely on the basis of transparency, accountability, and the principles of risk and profit sharing that Islamic finance is actually built on. Indeed, if you look at the halal concept, for instance, in the conventional sense, you always hear of buyer beware.
Yes.
But from the Islamic perspective or the halal perspective, it is seller beware. You indeed strive hard to ensure that you meet your obligations and carry out businesses in a very transparent and with high standards of integrity, and that gives good experience to your customers. It's the same, in the same line, that's what actually drives people to come into the Islamic finance space because of that good experience, high levels of disclosures in terms of information, transparency, and risk sharing that Islamic finance, as strong values, it propagates.
Yes. I want to finish with you, Ali. The fact that a lot of times we've seen businesses where you're told if you let these people come to your house where you are, there's a risk, security, those sorts of things. What does working with a business like yours mean for a person who might be vulnerable, might have fears of their own security, or what might mean if they get a delivered service?
Our services are unique in the industry in itself. We are the only company that provides tire change, balancing, auto service at your convenience, at your doorstep. And to do that, we've been able to take measures where we know who we are going to. We make appointment, they expect us. We take care of, we make sure that our workers are all ethical, we know their details and all of that. And we book appointment with our customers.
Yes.
And it's also instilled in your workers and your colleagues that, for our business to thrive, we have to create a rapport, which is not only for today, but also for the future with our customers.
Yes.
And we don't oversell things that are not required, or we don't cheat and lie and all of that. Because we are not only answerable to ourselves, but we're also answerable to God. Like my colleague Jafar just mentioned, it's sellers beware and not buyers beware, And because we are the ones selling the products and the services, we have to take into account the position of our customers. We've been invited, or rather we've provided our services in very high-end compounds where securities are very, very important.
Okay.
And very fortunately, we've had repeat service from those clients with multiple cars, living in leafy suburbs, and we've also done services in every household across Nairobi. We provided tire change, brake management changes and services, and general car maintenance for them.
Indeed, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for taking the time to be here. Of course, the fact that Islamic finance and the entire halal economy continues to be something that is emergent in this part of the world, and something that we will keep our eye on going forward. And the fact that expo is coming up where you can pop in to get some of your questions answered.